going to, of course, introduce the runners because they're way more important than I am. Of course, first and foremost, hailing from Germany in remotely this fine, well, for her evening, the record holder in Final Fantasy II GBA has killed Chaos many, many times, along with pretty much any other Final Fantasy final boss that you can name. Coming in, it is Kageniki. And, of course, locally...
More money.
Yeah, well-deserved. She's fantastic. Of course, directly over here to my side here, hailing from the wonderful state of Massachusetts in the United States, known Pokemon speedrunner, made a run into the third round of the recent Let's Go tournament and then forfeited because she had to pack to get here. Has killed Chaos in every version of Final Fantasy, one that you can name, including Strangers of Paradise. So if you are near somebody, please give them a fist bump right now for solidarity. It is Leggystarscrem.
Hi.
Of course, Vani, I need your assistance right now because I believe that we do have a naming incentive, so we're going to need some names from you today.
You're darn right we do, and I've just given it a final refresh, and we're taking the top 4, and both of you are naming those characters, all right? Here we go. All right, coming in first with $400, Bread will be your first character. Your second character coming in with $300 is going to be Erdrick.
Can you spell that for me?
It is E-R-D-R-I-C-K.
Oh, good, I got it right.
Okay, I think I got it now.
Okay, are we ready for number 3? Number 3 is someone who is absolutely no stranger to Final Fantasy I speedrunning. Your third character will be Dan.
Shoutouts to Dan.
Yes. And your fourth character. And your fourth character is one who is no stranger to cold cuts and groceries, and that is going to be Wawa.
Yo.
W-A-W-A. So let me tell you here, I do want to mention this. The bid war for the names here for these characters raised a grand total of $1,305. Thank you all very, very much for all your generosity for getting those characters named. But now that is done, I am done, at least for now. I think it's about time we get this race started, yes?
Sounds good.
All right, I'll let you go ahead and take care of it.
All right. Well, then we're going to start counting you in. We will be going in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Also, we start with a 1-minute cutscene, so, you know, if the two of you have anything to say right now, now would be the time.
Shoutouts to all the lovely cuties in the back of the audience behind me. You're all wonderful, and I'm so glad you're here.
Also, shoutouts to Iceblue, who sadly couldn't join us.
But yeah,
and had to
if you know the plot of Final Fantasy I, this is not going to be a spoiler, but if you're about to be spoiled for a 35-year-old game, please cover your ears. Basically, the world is starting to collapse under the power of the failing elements, and we're getting assigned to rescue the king's daughter rather than like saving the world. The run's actually like 8 minutes long. You save Princess Sarah and the game ends. And then we're going to leave and we're going to go and we're going to have... Someone's telling me that the estimate's 2 hours and 10 minutes. How is the estimate 2 hours and 10 minutes?
I don't know, Nikki. Why is the estimate so long? I thought you were supposed to
Yeah, no, I think the logic was that Iceblue was very confident. And I think he originally wanted even 2:05. And I was like, okay, let's give it 5 minutes more. And we are 3 people, so one of us will finish in that time.
Yeah, no. To be clear, the game keeps going. There's a whole like extra world. We're not even doing, you know, what's really a dungeon here. It's gonna be good.
But yeah, we are gonna zoom, of course.
Mm-hmm. After this, like, God, it's not even 1 minute. It's nearly 2.
Is it really nearly 2?
Yeah, it's like 250,
Yeah.
150 or 155. I don't know. Well, I haven't timed it in a while. It's long.
155.
Yeah,
right
you
on the
wouldn't
nose.
realize it because in every other version you can skip it.
So yeah, run starts in the town of Cornelia, where we're going to do a small amount of shopping. We buy 1 piece of chainmail for the fighter, we buy 1 sword for the fighter, and then we are going to go into the menu, set up a little bit of menuing here for speed later, and then we're going to buy 2 copies of Thunder. The setting that we're setting is called Continue Auto Battle, and what that does is that in the Pixel Remaster versions of the Final Fantasy games, you do have auto battle. You can press the Y button on your controller, and what that will do is that causes you to continuously repeat the actions that you've already queued up. Repeat auto battle means that that setting stays between fights, and one of the interesting things that was found about the Pixel Remasters is that your fights load a little bit faster if you have auto battle running into the start of the battle. So it actually shortens the load time of battles. So we're going to try to exit fights with auto battle on and leave it on, and if we have to toggle it off, there's a small window that you have to toggle it off.
Alright, how many black mages are gonna die in the first boss fight?
I have no idea, but I'm quick saving. I do not trust this fight.
Oh, me neither.
Or that fight, jeez. Well, I'm gonna be here for a minute.
This is like legitimately the worst encounter you can get in Chaos Shrine, no less, is the Grey Wolf and 6 Wolves pack. Nikki, though, is on Garland, and so the idea here is that you're hoping that Garland attacks the fighter, and 2 rounds of actions are going to take it out. So Nikki is going to finish up Garland right now.
GG. Oh,
I got the normal fight. The normal good fight. Which is nice.
I'm going straight back to autosave. Let's go.
Yep, that's the other nice thing about Pixel Remaster. Is Pixel Remaster will autosave on door transitions, so you don't have to worry too much. We do try to quick save before we fight bosses, just because means we don't have to walk through the floor in question, so which is good.
I guess one thing to add, though, is that we are playing on the PC version, so we do not have the new quality of life change that the PS5 version has, that we could just nope out of battles directly into the starting screen and then look from there.
So how many black mages down are you?
No, I got a clean fight.
Well, I don't want to talk about mine. But we're through.
Yep, I'm going to leave the runners to talk a little bit about experiencing gold routing in the early game, but the idea is that you want your black mages alive because they're important and they need health for the early game as well as just levels for spell slots. So the idea is that losing a black mage in this fight, while not world-ending, is still annoying.
Mm-hmm. Chad is pointing out that if you wanted that black mage alive, naming him Dan was probably not a good choice.
And of course, for those of you keeping score at home, do not worry, this is going to still be a very competitive race.
Mm-hmm.
I actually had like my last minute practice where I went a bit through the early game, like my one black mage died, and the problem is then you have like a black mage with less HP in the next area who gets sniped again, and you just have such a snowball effect if you aren't careful.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you'd still go for it, but
Yeah, because, like, you know,
be extra careful.
like, level 3 black mage might still have 27 health, which is barely better.
That's a problem.
Wait, are we talking about stat growth now?
Are we? I mean, what's up with the stat growth?
Yeah, what is up with the stat growths?
What is up with the stat growth? So, in particular, in Final Fantasy 1, what ends up happening is that there are fixed levels that you get certain stat growths in, depending upon what character class you are. For Black Mage, we get hit points, I think it's like once every 4 or 5 levels. They're not a lot, and so basically what happens is that you have a chance of rolling high on a stat, which is state it goes up by 1, or you have a chance to not roll high on a stat, so it goes up by 0. And for hit points, what it is that there's a 20 hit point differential between the two. So Black Mages will roll like between normally 1 and 4 or 5 hit points per level, but their big growths are between 21 and 25. The more big growths they get, the happier we are, because there's a couple of hit point thresholds that we'd like to hit. They're not strictly necessary, but for safety purposes, they're kind of important, especially because there's a boss that casts a spell that does about 160 damage coming up in about 50 minutes into the run. So you don't want to, if you get hit by that, if your Black Mages die, then the fight just ends on the spot. But if your Black Mages can survive it, you still have a chance. So we'll talk a little bit more about that when we get into the Earth Cave later. But the idea is that 27 hit points, like Nikki's Black Mages have right now, is the absolute minimum you can have. It's 25 plus 1 for level 2 plus 1 for level 3, which is pretty terrible.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. But we still have a lot of levels where we have a chance to get lucky.
Mm-hmm.
Also, only wolves.
There is also notably one other way that this route deviates from other Final Fantasy 1 speedrun routes, which is, you'll notice that Nikki on the way to Provoke a Town here actually took fights. Took every fight, in fact. The idea being that, so the grind tiles, which were so ubiquitous in the other versions where you could walk on and off of a tile and take an encounter repeatedly, those don't exist anymore. They are all now just tied to a spot. There's a sprite in the spot, and so we can't actually grind in the way that we used to do in other Final Fantasy runs. So we need to take a pile of encounters, and so the best way to do that, of course, is to fight things. Nikki is now in Provoke a Town, took a time to buy 2 copies of Temper, which we're going to need later, stopped at the inn to top off spell charges, and now we're fighting the pirates because they have a boat. Boat's important, we want it, because we need to get around the world here. Notably, the 27 hit point Black Mage is dead, which is a little unfortunate, but we are going to make it through this usually. It's usually going to take, if you get your fighter to level 4, your fighter can also one-shot pirates. At level 3, they cannot. So Bread is going to one-shot sometimes, but not always, which is a little unfortunate.
There goes Dan again.
Is Dan having a bad day?
I think so.
Okay.
Dan is alive. Dan will always live. I can't vouch for Wawa, though.
Let's get out of here.
How are you doing on gold, Leggy?
Not great. I'll pick up Temper after I do Pirates.
Yep. This is just because the pirates do give a decent chunk of gold, and we do want to make sure we can stay in the inn beforehand, because we do need the spell charges and hit points from the walk from Provoke reloaded before we go into the fight.
Also, for whatever reason, the continual auto battle goes away the first time you reload the game. It's weird. So how's the Inland Sea this time of year?
Yeah, early tempo was one of the latest additions, I think, to the route. Basically, one of the ideas is that before you, while the pirates are still there, the people in Provoker are too scared to come out, so they won't block your way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but sadly, with a little bit of a rough walk to Provoca, I didn't want to risk going and buying Temper and not having enough money to res and heal.
But yeah, the temper spell is going to be important later because what this does is this is an attack buff. The early game and mid game are going to be dominated by the 2 black mages who are going to be the main sources of damage all throughout the run, up until near the end. The idea, though, is that temper is a spell that adds to a fighter's attack power. This will be important on later bosses where we need to scale up our damage output to deal out thousands of damage a turn. With our monk Erdrick, who is currently still okay, still hitting all right, but not the most powerful man in the world yet. Both of our runners are going to be taking a few encounters on the ocean here. There's one encounter in particular that we're looking for. We're looking for buccaneers if we can find them. Of course, the random tables are random, and so we don't always get what we want. But the big thing is that buccaneers are worth 120 gil apiece because there's a bounty on their head. They are, after all, pirates.
I went from wolves on the world map to Sahagins in the sea.
I meant to find a shark.
When we're talking about enemies that don't give money or XP, heck yeah.
Let's get through this. And 30 gil is 30 gil.
I mean, it's going to pay for the in-stay here in Cornelia, so that's probably fine. As of course, both of our runners are going to roll up to Cornelia to use the inn again. We're going to continuously reload our resources early on to make sure that we can continue taking these fights, because the intent is that we take, if possible, we certainly need 1,000 gold in Elfland, which is our next stop. Preferably, we want to have enough for 1,000 gold for 1 copy of Thundara plus a bunch of camping supplies. So the hope is that we get to have a bunch of camping supplies as well.
And if you get lucky, you don't have to sit here and grind, but sadly, sometimes the game is just like, how do you feel about Sahagin?
You mean there are encounters that are not Sahagins in the sea?
So I've heard. Legends and tales.
I don't believe it.
I'm fighting a shark.
Whoa.
Alright, let's go back and...
I've had 3 Sahagin Big Eye encounters in a row now.
I hate that for you. Yeah, there's always a bit of tension here in the early grind because you want to have that 1,000 gold for Thundara, but when you go down to Elfland, the in-stay goes up to 100 gil a pop, but you want to go down there because if you pick up Thundara, the grind becomes a lot faster and easier, and this game has a lot of really interesting little bits of tension like that. It's one of the things I love about it.
Do you know how bad my money is?
Probably about as bad as mine.
I fought an extra encounter, went to the inn, and still didn't have enough money to even attempt buying Thundara.
Oof.
I had like barely 1k entering Elfheim after taking an additional encounter. So back to the sea it is. It's painful, but
Alright.
we need some kind of money here.
I got the big Sahagin, so I should at least have enough for Thundara when I get to town. I hope.
Also, as a hit point distribution check, Nikki's Black Mages have split the hit points between them and are in the mid-70s each, while Dan on Leggy's side has monopolized all of the hit points is at 112 already. Good times.
Mm-hmm.
I guess Dan is going to be our primary Thundara caster then, because, more health means less dying.
So I've heard. Legends.
Legends of Dan surviving the rest of this run after dying multiple times early on.
That sounds legendary.
Mm-hmm. Wawa, on the other hand, is still sitting over at 52, which, because of the guaranteed big HP up at level 4, that's a little spicy.
Also notable and helpful for the early game here, you'll notice that there's a hit system for fighting, which is to state that you hit some number of times for an amount of damage each time, and so it ends up basically being a damage multiplier. And the black belt at this point, the monk in this case, so Erdrick has hit that multiplier number for Leggy and is now hitting 4 times. So basically hits a key level and is now doing twice as much damage as he was before, which is pretty fantastic. Nikki, on the other hand, has bought some camping supplies. And has started the walk over to Marsh Cave, because if you talk to NPCs, well, we're not going to, this is a speed run, talking to NPCs is slow. If you do actually take the time to talk to the NPCs, what they tell you is that the crown of the Elf King has been lost in the Cave of the Marshes, and so we need to go down there and go retrieve it and bring it back to the goodly second Elf King over in a different castle, because there's 2 Elf Kings for some reason, I don't know.
Only more wolves.
I mean, I did sing Hungry Like the Wolf at karaoke the other night, so maybe that's why they're here.
Yep. The other thing that we do have to deal with is that some enemies here... Oh, land lobsters. Heck yeah, land lobsters. Let's go. It says scorpions, but don't listen to the propaganda. They're land lobsters. One of the things we do have to deal with is that a lot of the enemies in this area do have poison, and it's really a nuisance. And we can only afford a couple of antidotes, usually between 2 and 5. So the idea is that we're going to need to try to use our antidotes sparingly if possible.
I still can't believe that I put in a whole another grinding section was going to the inn, and the result was that I'm still low on money. At least high on experience for where I am, but...
Same hat, same hat.
Leggy continues to get ambushed by things, which is just, and now Dinky does too. That's also random at the start of battles. The idea being that you will sometimes get ambushed and sometimes get preemptive strikes. The major thing is that preemptive strikes give you a free turn of actions. It does not guarantee running away in this version like it does in every other version of Final Fantasy 1. You can attempt to run on a preempt and fail. This is a thing that has definitely happened before, and it's really annoying.
Alright.
So yeah, both of our runners are reloading. Leggy lost her fighter in the last fight. Nikki got beat up pretty badly too. So that did not help anybody's cause. You'll notice that they're quick saving an awful lot on the way down. The idea is that Marsh Cave is super dangerous. More so than most areas in the game, considering the tools that we have. We only get a couple charges of our big thunder magic. We only have a couple of potions and everything. So Nikki's going to take a minute to top off as she has reached the crown chest here. When you open it, you get ambushed by Pisco demons. Well, you don't get ambushed, hopefully. You get attacked by Pisco demons. Part of the reason why we get Thundara in this version is because it's really useful to basically, there's a damage roll that you can actually one-shot these potentially. But otherwise it sets them up so that one action kills the rest of them.
Yeah, and the other annoying thing about Pisco demons is that, unlike previous versions of FF1, there's always 4 of them.
Yeah. Also, maybe to add, like, Marsh Cave is dangerous in older versions, like, especially like GBA, PSP. That was kinda, substituted, I guess is the word, with the fact that the encounter rate was pretty low.
Mm-hmm.
But the Pixel Remaster version doesn't care. In the Pixel Remaster version, the encounter rate is everywhere the same. And very consistent with that, so...
Also, you'll notice Pisco demons hit incredibly hard. So if you don't get to act first, it can be really problematic.
technically through, but I can't keep this.
Yeah, lack of resources, especially Phoenix Downs, make it a lot tougher. So in my case, the last reset was just because I would have had to use all my remaining antidotes. Yeah.
Okay, there's the preempt.
Hey, you can get preempts and ambushes from chest encounters as well now, but this is pretty much going to assure a very clean fight the second time around for
Yo.
me. So So yeah, both are runners very disinterested in taking encounters here. I think he is currently about a floor ahead here in terms of escaping the Cave of Marshes right now. So it's still pretty tight, all things considered. You know, even with the both runners have certainly had have had some tough outs so far in this run. Honestly, if this were for PBs, you know, we're not running for PBs as a marathon run, but man, this is not exactly the start you want to see if you're trying to put together a PB run, but for working with what we've had so far, it's been good. It's just very difficult sometimes, and that's okay.
I'm honestly contemplating.
Basically,
oh, go ahead.
I would say basically, if you see us like going back into the main menu, that would probably just be where we reset.
Yeah. I'm honestly contemplating doing a really safe backup strat that's really slow, but like I need the resources. I need a heal before the next boss fight. It's definitely not the
Want to
kindly
go
old.
to Alpine before Astos?
Yeah, like because I didn't have enough money to get a tent,
Oh, me neither.
So,
and
yeah.
my fighter's at like 80 HP.
Yeah, so you have
You are out of potions?
Oh yeah.
So yeah, there's two options here. Like you can go and go back to Elfland to buy more camping supplies, which is very safe but also slow. You can opt to burn the cottage you have because you do get a cottage in Marsh Cave, but the trade-off is that the cottage is worth a lot of money, which is a thing we need.
I can make do with only being down one.
Yep, so let's talk about spells for a minute here. So Astos is the first enemy that we fight that actually casts spells on us. And let's talk about magic for a minute in this game here. It's a little different than any of the other Final Fantasy versions, because what it used to be is that the spells run a list, right? And so the first spell that Astos has would be the first spell that Astos casts, which is normally Death. It does not cast it, actually casts Slowra first, because now it just pulls spells from the list. And God, that was a really clean Astos fight. 2 big monk punches and we're out of there. Which is awesome. But so Astos could cast Fyra as his first spell and wipe out your party, or Astos can like cast Slowra on your black mages and waste time and not do anything of use. So, you know, options certainly abound here. This is going to be our first point of the game where we start seeing the use of Temper to buff up the Warriors of Light here to make our hitters hit harder, increasing their attack power, which is really useful. And then the Black Belt, the monk, can really go to town, so Erdrick is going to probably wreck house here, given the opportunity. Or he's gonna get put to sleep. One or the other. All right, not exactly clean, but we're through.
Honestly, the Black Mages lived. I'm happy.
Yeah, the fighter died too, which means more XP for the Black Mages. Let's go.
Frankly, that's probably optimal.
Yeah. GBA strats for the win here. So Vani, we are gonna have to do a little wandering around the world here while we do the big fetch quest here. So if you'd like to take over for a second, that'd be greatly appreciated.
Oh, would I? I've got a bunch of donations here to read. But before we do, just on a personal note, I'd like to give a shout out to Nikki. She has my favorite VTuber model of any streamer on Twitch, and mostly it's because whenever she tweets out her PBs and whatnot, she'll show a screenshot of it, and her VTuber model always has the best facial expressions in the freeze frame. They always find them so amusing. So big shout out. So I love the VTuber model there. Okay, here we go. Like I said, I've got a ton of donations here. I got $100 from Porsyth that says, here's 100 gil to revive Dan in case he gets bored of the floor. We have $125 from Champion Beef, who says, Palm reset donation plus more. Let's go speedrunning. Let's go Nami. We have $5 from Purple Mage Claire, who says, we must go through the Giant's Forest to find the Cave of No Return. Within it lies the armor of invincibility. Kate Lib C donates $50 and says, hello, Nikki, Leggy, and Demerine. Good luck on the race. Love, Kari. We have a $50 donation from Lady Ariana. And she says, we're here to kill chaos and chew bubblegum, and I left my bubblegum at home. So 1 out of 2 ain't bad, right? Good luck to Leggy and Nikki on the FF1 PR run. Put this money towards naming a Wildermyth character Stella, because Stella is the most amazing person that has made my Limit Break experience wonderful and made me feel like family. And we have a $150 donation. This is from Zoe V. And this one says, hi, Leggy. I'm so excited to be here with you, and I'm so proud of you for doing your best to raise money for a great cause. I'm so blessed to call you my knight, and I look forward to 1,000 more days with you after this one. Best of luck in your race, because we all know you're here to kill chaos. And finally, we have another $150 donation. And this one's from me.
Oh, no.
Hey, Dem.
Hey.
Hey, Leggy.
Hi.
Remember when you were cackling over my misfortune during my costume quest run?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, me too. But you know what? That's water under the bridge now. Instead, I want to send some love to my good friend Ice Blue, with whom I was looking forward to hanging out and having fun during this race. Rest well, and we'll just need to find another opportunity to bully each other soon. Much love, my guy.
Can't believe that the host let that one get read.
I am clearly abusing my powers.
I feel like the host has become too powerful and cannot be stopped. And I'm totally fine with that.
Well, listen, I don't... well, thank you, Nikki. I appreciate you. But listen, I don't want to stop, because if you look at that donation total, we are creeping very, very close to that $50,000 mark. Let's get there. Let's make it happen.
Heck yeah.
If we get to $50,000, it may give us slightly better RNG for killing chaos. But yeah, the fetch quest. So we're on the fetch quest. So there's a big series of walking around the world that we do in the early game. We go to Astos and we fight Astos and we kick his butt because, you know, he's a jerk, actually. Spoilers, again, for a 35-year-old game. But we go over there and we kick his butt, and he ends up having Matoya's crystal eye, which she needs to be able to see. So we get to Matoya, and she's all stumbling around because, well, she's blind, which is, you know, kind of unfortunate because she's used to having her glasses. So we give her glasses back, and she gives us the Jolt Tonic, which I guess is really just like the medieval Red Bull of this game. It used to be the medical herb, which, you know, for Erdrick would heal for like 30 hit points, but, you know, in this game wakes people up. But we take the Jolt Tonic back to the prince so we can wake him up from his magical sleep. And he was like, here is the greatest treasure of the elvish people. It is the mystic key. It opens doors. It opens all the doors. It opens every door. You name a door and I can open it, but now you can open it instead. So we're going to go and we're going to go down here to the Elfland Treasury and we're going to open a door. You know why? Because we need stuff to sell because we're broke.
I thought we determined before that the Jolt Tonic was actually a can of Monster Chaos.
Was it really a can of Monster Chaos?
Yes.
Chaos.
God, such branding.
You know, just a quick shout out to the Stranger of Paradise run from last year. That was such a good show.
It's also like the best Final Fantasy prequel of them all. So, you know, if you're into Team Ninja, you should go play it because it's really good. But yeah, now that we have the key, we can actually use it to rob all of the countries of their greatest treasures, because we should do that because, you know, we're broke. We're broke and we're legendary heroes, and so what's the fastest way to get money is to take people's stuff and then sell it. So we're going to do that. But we also get, over here, we get the, which was originally the TNT, we get the nitro powder. Dwarves tend to use this for engineering purposes, and by engineering I mean explosions, and by explosions I mean we're going to make a canal somehow. Don't ask how they get a controlled explosion out of this stuff.
Dwarven engineering.
Dwarven engineering.
I also love how we only open the treasuries, like, of the people that actually live, and not like the hidden treasuries in the wild, because they are too far out of the way.
Yeah, who has time to backtrack?
Hey, I've got a question here in chat, and I was actually curious about this too. They're asking what no QS manip means in the category for the game. Can you explain what that's all about?
Can we even do that anymore?
I think that was patched.
I don't think we can.
I think that was patched out, but it used to be that there was a trick that you could do using the 15 puzzle, which you notice we did not do the 15 puzzle when we got the ship. This version does not. We don't do the 15 puzzle because the reward for doing the 15 puzzle is absolutely nothing. Except there was a glitch in older versions of the Pixel Remaster that basically allowed you to manipulate using a quick save from after doing the 15 puzzle. And it's a neat little glitch, but what it did is it allowed you to substitute any fight with the first fight in the game, which is 5 goblins. So you would roll up to Chaos, you would drop a save, you'd go back, you'd load up your quick save, you would come back to Chaos, talk to Chaos, and go, hey, I want to fight you. And Chaos would be like, cool, I'm on vacay. Here's my substitute, and throw 5 goblins at you. Slightly easier fight, marginally easier fight than fighting Chaos.
Optimally, it doesn't make much of a difference, even though.
But yeah, so big shopping trip here. This is why we sold all this stuff. We load up on potions. Also, if one of the two of you would like to talk about ethers, which is a thing that didn't exist in the original Final Fantasy when we had spell charges. And now that we have spell charges, but we have ethers, how do they work?
Yeah, Nikki, do you want to take that one?
Yeah, so they tried to make the ethers as weak as imaginably possible by basically giving you just one spell charge of each level. Because, I mean, if you only have one tier of ethers, that's like the least you can do, because if you want to replenish spell charges, you gotta replenish all of them. But yeah, I mean, that still means if you were to play it casually and have a full-fledged Black Mage, you would get 8 spells for the price of 150 gil. That's a pretty good deal.
Yeah, especially in, once you start getting deep into the game and, in like the GBA or the PSP version, spells start costing, the cost of an entire ether, whereas in this version, you just get that one charge back.
Yeah, a lot of what will be done through the run is that later we're going to get Firaga soon. So the idea is that when we cast spells, we want to make sure that we've cast at least one Thundara and one Firaga out of our spell list, so that our ether restores 2 charges. So we're getting twice the value out of our ethers that we normally could. And then that actually gets to be even greater later on in the run when we get Blizzaga, and then we're trying to recharge 3 spell charges at a time.
I think the folks like the whole concept of the quick save nip, and they're basically just saying that Chaos is 5 imps in a trench coat.
I mean, it's true.
It's a very heavy trench coat, though. The trench coat has like 19,800 hit points.
It's very powerful.
Now imagine if it was 5 imps and 5 trench coats. Then we'd be able to use AoE magic on Chaos.
Yeah, but then they couldn't afford the really nice trench coat with all that health, and it wouldn't be the same.
True.
Gosh. You mean then the Black Mage only strat would actually be faster maybe to cast Flare instead of getting the Masamune and buffing yourself up with Saber and Temper?
Wait, there's a Masamune in this game?
Yeah, it's somewhere in Volcano.
Maybe. Mysteries claims it.
The NES route gets it. Yeah, it's actually in the very last chest of the game, like way in the final dungeon. Like, you are not allowed to refer to the Masamune being in Volcano. This is not randomizer.
Look, I just think I'm funny.
You know what? Fair. But yeah, both our runners are in Melmond. We're selling a bunch of stuff at the weapon shop, so we can go over to the magic shop where we can't actually, do any selling. We're going to buy 2 copies of Firaga for our black mages. Again, this is a sweet magic spell that's going to be very important because now we are in the Earth Cave stretch. Again, if we talk to the NPCs, which we're not doing because this is a speed run, and so, I'm here to explain the plot, that's my job, you find out that Melmond's been wrecked by the undead from the Earth Cave as they've stolen the power of Earth from us. And so the town is destroyed. That's why there's no clinic there. It's a mess. But we have to go into Earth Cave, and we have to go and find the source of the evil and destroy it. The major thing here, of course, is that, one, we're going down to Earth Cave, of course, because it's here. But we're in a stretch where we really need to kind of worry about our levels. We want to make sure that our black mages are at least level 12, getting to the bottom of Earth Cave. And then... again, spoilers for a 35-year-old game. There is a second trip into the Earth Cave where we actually have to go down and fight the actual evil at the bottom. God, I'm spoiling everything. I'm sorry. The first evil we find down here is not evil enough, clearly. And so the idea is that we end up going back down in here a second time. Wawa, please don't die. Gargoyles don't hit very hard, but, we don't have armor. Armor's expensive and takes time. But we have to come down here and fight a second time, and the second time we get down here, we need to be at least level 15 and preferably 16. So we are going to be taking a lot of fights and trying to push our levels up to that point. We're already at, like, level 11, and Nikki has one of the best encounters we can see at this point, which is Double Minotaur, which is just great for resources, so I'm sure she's happy to see this one today.
With Black Mages, I like seeing big attacks more. Like, if you have a melee party like in all the other versions, it's definitely the best thing you can encounter.
Folks, I'm going to jump in here real quick because I am very excited to announce that for the entire event, we have reached $50,000!
Yo!
I'm just going to read one off real quick here. It's a $150 donation from Stump. It's the one that put us over. And he says, 50K, hype! Hype! Also, to everyone who has donated, check whether your employer might have a donation matching program. Mine does, so this donation will go twice as far. That is an excellent point. Thank you very much, Stump.
Are you kidding me?
So notably, the Are You Kidding Me is just as a note, in Final Fantasy 1, there's no row system like in other Final Fantasy games. So instead, it uses a distributed method to determine who's getting attacked. And so the top slot of your party, which in this case is Brett, gets attacked 50% of the time. Your second slot, Erdrick, our Mighty Monk, gets punched 25% of the time with single target effects. And our Black Mages should be getting hit 12.5% of the time each. RNG is the heck of a thing, honestly.
We love RNG. It makes every run unique.
And exciting.
Send help. But yeah, you'll see that as Nikki is hovering the Firaga that she doesn't quite have yet. The idea is that, again, at level 12, we do get that spell charge, and then when we get down to the first boss of Earth Cave, we're going to reload our spell charges so that we have a Firaga for both of our Black Mages.
For some reason, I thought I already was 12, but yeah.
Also notably, you'll see that Nikki has done something that you also cannot do in other versions of Final Fantasy 1. she encountered a pack of Pisco demons. And normally, in every other version of Final Fantasy, they are unrunnable, and, you know, normally, like, say if you're doing PSP speedruns and you do a donation incentive for it, it's usually, hey, every time I try to run from an unrunnable, I'm going to donate. That doesn't exist in this version. Every fight is runnable except for the fixed encounters. So, you know, you see Pisco demons? Why are we going to fight them? They just melee or black mages. Let's get out of here. We get out of here.
Shout out to Pisco demons.
No, you do not have to shout out the Pisco demons.
Can I shout out some donations?
Yeah, please, go ahead.
Awesome. Okay, cool. We have $40 from Programmer Socks, who says, this is a joint donation with my mother, who's going to school right now to be a marriage and family therapist. Mental health is so important, and Nami does great work. So glad to see such amazing games played for an amazing cause. We have $25, this is from Nova Zero, that says, as a mental health professional, Nami is an invaluable resource for aiding clients. And events like this that spotlight their incredible and necessary work is deserving of every good thing ever. Throw this at naming the Dragon Quest hero Altoona and blame the FF9 runners for it. We've got $50 from Silverfire, who says, love to my family watching this back at home, and my fellow RPG Valkyries, Stella, Nikki, and Dem. Here's to Dan doing Dan things, which hopefully means casting spells and not lying on the ground. We have a $100 donation. This is from Notara. Notara says, Leggy, Nick, Dem. You're all amazing people, and I'm so glad that I get to hang with all of you, both at this event and at Valk's events. Can't wait for you to kill chaos. And we have a $10 donation. This is from RPG Chick, and it says, good luck to my lovely Valks on this race. Here's an Agama fact for y'all. I have to read this as it.
You do. Required. Agama facts are required to be read.
Did you know that Agamas are preferred 5-1 over the children from Costume Quest? Sorry, Bonnie, had to get one more dig in. And get it in, you did.
By the way, if you haven't gone back and watched the Costume Quest run, watch it after this one, but definitely go back and watch it.
It was a lot of fun. It certainly was.
So, notably, at this juncture in the run, you'll notice that for Leggy, bread's been turned to stone. We found cockatrices along the way. And one of the things that we really want to do in Earth Cave is on this third floor, either on the way up or back, it doesn't matter, we want to find one specific encounter, and that is cockatrices. They have stone touch, so their touch turns your party to stone, ostensibly. Not 100% chance on attack, obviously, that'd be devastating. But you'll notice that we are leaving bread in brick form, so our bread is not in good shape anymore. Not edible, by the way. Do not eat this bread. But what ends up happening is that when single target effects go out, there's a bit of a interesting mechanical interaction here, which is, as you can see, those ogres are attempting to attack bread and doing nothing. They're missing. So single target effects can still target petrified party members. So the goal is to get our fighter and our monk petrified at some point in this cave and use them to absorb 75% of single target effects against our party for nearly the duration of the run up until probably Tiamat 1 usually, or Carry 1 depending upon what route you're choosing to run. So, Leggy earlier, when Vonnie was reading, donations did find cockatrices, chose to just get the black belt petrified, or just chose to get bread petrified, the fighter petrified, and then stopped, just to kind of keep moving. But ideally, by the time you're done with Earth Cave, ideally both of them are petrified and will stay that way for quite some time.
Yeah, annoyingly with...
I can't wait to never see one.
Yeah, one of the annoying things about the way that the targeting works is that you can't switch slots of characters mid-battle. So you'll notice I also put the monk back up in front so that they'll eat the 50% chance of being targeted on the way back down if we find more birds.
But yeah, so what ends up happening is that at the bottom of Earth Cave there, at the bottom of floor 3, we get a Star Ruby, which we're going to use to go ahead and we're going to take that over here to the Titan's Tunnel, which is due west of the Earth Cave here. And the idea being that we are going to give the Titan this ruby, and he's going to get out of our way and let us go see the old sage Sarda, who's basically hiding in a cave in the mountains. Because, you know, that's what old sages do, right? They make it hard to go find them. You have to give them something to get their eternal wisdom or something like that. I don't know. I'm not eternally wise, so don't look to me for that. But the idea being that what we end up getting from Sarda is a rod that allows us to move a stone plate in the back of Earth Cave and find the actual evil at the back of Earth Cave.
Thought Vampire was the final boss, but we were wrong.
Wait, Dio's here?
No? No, why would he be here? He's not a part of this marathon.
I mean, are there JoJo RPGs? That would be incredible.
I have no idea.
Chat, let us know with the donation if there's JoJo's Bizarre Adventure RPGs that we could have at this event.
Hey, speaking of donations, can I jump in here real quick?
Yeah.
Yes? Good. All right.
Sure.
Want to talk about some of the bid wars that we have coming up here. We already obviously named the characters here, but for the next game, which is Wildermyth, being run by Ferric Fox, there is a naming incentive for that one there. You can name 3 starting characters. Right now, we have, with $150, we have Blackjack. Oh, it's my kitty. We have $34 for Null and $25 for Ayaya. $15 for Stella. So I know that there was some money put towards that. We wanted to get Stella named for one of these characters. So you can put more into that if you would like, or to anything else that you would like to nominate here. If you want to use one of the existing choices, want to nominate one of your own. We've got 3 characters to name there. So we've got plenty of opportunities. Also, coming up in the Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade run, there is an incentive to do a blindfolded fight of Reno and Rude. Anytime there's a blindfolded boss fight, it's always super hype. So definitely make sure we get that met. That needs $500. It's currently got 210. So not quite halfway there, but I am confident in you, chat, that you can help us to make this happen.
The sigh there is that Lesser Tigers have a specific drop that you can potentially get. They can drop X potions, and we need X potions specifically for one fight in the game. It's for Chaos. And so the idea being that you can try to get an extra one there. There's a pair of elixirs and 1 X potion in the game that we're going to go obtain once we get the airship. And then one of the elixirs is actually in the final dungeon. And we kind of want them, but, you know, an extra one never hurts. Never hurts the cause, to be sure. But yeah, we're dipping back down into Earth Cave. Again, both of our runners are going to probably be hoping to run aground of some Calcitresses on floor 3. And then we are going down to floor 5, so we're going past where we were before and going a little deeper in to find what is our first roadblock to good runs. You know, other than the early game and dying on the ocean and Astos and Garland and all right, fine. There's a lot of roadblocks to a good run, but this one is the classic. If you've ever seen a Final Fantasy 1 speedrun, you'll know that Lich lies at the bottom of this cave and is here to ruin our day. Nikki's found bird. That's exciting. Going to try to kill off one of them and just have the one bird left over for petrifying the party. So we're going to defend a bit and hope that the bird goes after the top 2 characters and actually lands the stone touch. Come on, you can do it, bird. I believe in you. How about now? No? And the Costas runs away. That's unfortunate. That's terrible, actually.
I shouldn't have killed the other one. I should have, well, whatever. I mean, usually you do.
It's safer that way.
Just for safety. And it rarely happens that they flee, actually. It really, really rarely happens. But, yeah. Obviously, marathon luck and all that.
Yeah.
Yep. Did you get anyone petrified, though?
Nope. Not a soul is
No.
petrified.
Oh, that sucks.
Leggy's found birds. Let's go birds. Maybe try attacking the top slot. It's up above the bottom slots. There we go. All right, we've got the petrify set up for Leggy here, so we're going to drop auto battle. We're going to drop some Thundaras here. We're going to wipe these birds out, but I saw that last one hit. I'm like, yeah, that's going to be a petrified black mage, isn't it? See, now you can see we're seeing all of these attacks coming into the top two characters, which is really useful. So Leggy's got her petrify set up. Nikki's got half the petrify set up here. Gonna start fighting the birds down to at least thin the herd, because 4 is a little dangerous. Leggy went for the unsafe strat of leaving all 4 of them up. There we go. So now Nikki's got her birds done. So all right, well we should probably applaud for birds. We love birds.
Shout outs to birds.
The hardest part of the run is still to come.
Oh, just... if you don't have these 2 petrified at the end of this dungeon...
It's bad times.
It's really bad times.
Hey, question. Is 194 HP on a black mage good?
What?
Asking for a friend.
Again, for Leggy, it looks like Dan is taking all of the hit points and is at 190, while Wawa's at 109, which is abysmal, atrocious, awful even. While Nikki's have a very fair distribution, are at 160 and 170, and still need 2 levels to get to 16.
Did you see what happened just the moment you praised Dan?
Did he die?
He got sniped. He got shot by 2 Pisco demons and just died
Woof.
from full HP.
They're good at that. The Pisco demons will hit the black mage just for upwards of 110 hit points even now. So yeah, good times.
Oh my god!
Hashtag getting trolled.
Trolls are the biggest trolls.
I can't keep this. I'm out of Phoenix Down.
I still cannot get over the fact that we had jerk birds inflicting negative status effects on us, and we are applauding this genuinely. Like, we are officially in the upside down right now.
This run's really neat. Yes, we're going to applaud this weird stuff happening like that. Yes. Well, Nikki's black mages are trying to find their way out of this Pisco demon fight before they take any more damage and get killed.
This run is incredible. That's all I can say about it.
What is this?
Good night, Dan.
Oh god.
Resources are tight. It's really, this part's really tough.
I'm gonna have to start pulling out the GBA strats. Which involves saving every 10 steps, for the record.
I think you got 20 in the Pixel Remaster version. I think they just appear like very consistently around 25 steps, but yeah.
I'll have to pay more attention.
So yeah, both our runners are trying to get to level 15 on the black mages on the way down here. Very, very important here. Nikki is on floor 5 at this point. Has the levels, so has the Fyraga charges. Pisco demons, can you please maybe not? Nope. Y'all know that they can attack the top 2 slots. I just want to be really, really clear about that.
Yeah, that's like the whole point of the strat.
Whole
Come
point
on, game, you're making me look bad.
Yeah, I feel like it's, in this version especially, it's like a 50-50 shot. Like, some 50% chance that they actually listen to these odds, and a 50% chance that they, like, do whatever the heck they want.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, here's Lich. Now, as we noted that earlier, that they do have the random spell list, which actually makes Lich safer in this version. Normally, Lich's first spell is Blizzara, which does just devastating damage to the party. We're hoping that Lich just casts haste, attacks the top 2 party members, casts slow. We need to cast 6 Firagas and usually 1 Thundara on top of it. Nikki will need the 1 Thundara because we didn't get exceedingly lucky along the way. But yep, meleeing the Black Mage as long as it doesn't get paralyzed is fine. Thundara is not the best, but your Black Mages do survive it because it only does about 120. Slow is great. We don't care about that. So we need to cast these Firagas and then it'll be 1 Thundara. What is this? And Nikki is through Lich, so that's fantastic.
Having HP values that allow you to tank an AoE spell, especially after a physical attack, is not a given.
Yeah.
These Black Mages might have half as much HP as they have right now. That has happened before.
And then you just gotta to get lucky at that point, which is real bad.
Yeah, then you have no room for error for any of the 3 tier 2 spells.
This should be a nice pile of experience.
Yeah, it's gonna get you close at least to 15, so. And the last thing we need, of course, is enemies fleeing, because fleeing enemies don't give us experience points.
I can't believe I failed to run away from ogres, which are like one of the easiest encounters to run away from.
This one's always fun. Shout outs to Earth Elementals.
Alright, 1 Black Mage.
At least you have the appropriate spell.
True.
Yep. And,
Okay, we'll get there.
and we have exactly 6 Ethers to reload exactly 6 spell charges, 3 for each Black Mage.
10th drop. Okay.
Yeah, so the big thing is that after you kill Lich, you're told that you need to sail due over to Crescent Lake where the sages have been awaiting you. So Nikki is on the high seas right now, sailing on over to Crescent Lake, where we're going to obtain a canoe, while Leggy is going to take her first crack at Lich. So there's Firaga, there's the first 2 casts. We're going to need all 6 of these casts, followed by 1 Thundara. Slow is ideal, Thundara is not. Again, AoE magic is bad because it kills our Black Mages. You know, it's not single targeting. There's 5. And 6. We're gonna drop dead. Bad luck.
Lich is also notably the first fight in which the intelligence stat actually comes into play a bit more than before than usual.
Yeah, if you're level 16, you have a chance of actually hitting an intelligence multiplier. Firaga does. You know, Firaga is in this fight is doing around 190-ish damage. You know, between like 170 and 190. Intelligence can help with that, is that every 10 intelligence you have adds a multiplier, and so instead your Firagas will be doing 240, and of course your Firagas doing 240 is great because then you don't have to worry. Of course, paralyzed hold is very bad because that is you only have a 25% chance to break paralysis, so we're hoping we break paralysis here. Please break paralysis. Please let us out. Slow is fine, we're not fighting, but again, being paralyzed is still annoying. or just hit the Forecasts of Thundara backup, I guess.
Very nice.
Any
Very
Lich
nice.
fight is a good Lich fight that you win.
Exactly.
Yeah, the dead Lich is the best Lich. So we get a canoe
But
here.
he's already dead.
He's double dead now.
Fair.
But yeah, so Nikki has the canoe now and is going to take the boat over to the river system and is going to end up taking the canals up to Ice Cave, which is where we get our floater stone for our airship. Hey, Vonnie, we do have a little bit of world traversal in front of us right now, so if you'd like to hop in.
I certainly would, and I want to start out with a very special donation. This one is from Ice Blue. It is a $25 donation, and they say, want to give a big shout out to Leggy, Nikki, Dem, and of course Vonnie. I'm so upset that I can't be there to race this with y'all, but I'm so happy to see y'all made it through Marsh Cave unscathed to an extent. Y'all are absolutely amazing, and I have nothing but love for y'all, and I'm sending you as much positive vibes as I can for, quote, the casino. Big shout outs to RPGLB for putting this show on and helping out a wonderful cause. And again, because I am obligated to read these comments as they come in, I have to say this. Final shout out. Hey, Vonnie. Just because I'm not in the call doesn't mean I can't heckle you. When Star Tropics 2? Love you, everyone. Thank you, Ice Blue. Much love to you, my friend.
Feel better soon.
Yes, indeed. Please do. Do I have more time?
Yeah.
Go ahead, go ahead.
Awesome. Good. We've got $20 from V Agent Zero, who says, remember, asking for help is as brave as giving it. You are enough, you are worthy, and you are loved. And hey, Leggy, exclamation point bully. We have Moonblaze Wolf bringing in $50 and saying, good luck to my friends and frenemies involved in this race. It's been so wonderful to meet so many of the RPG Valkyries at this year's Limit Break. Y'all are cute and awesome. And we have a $10 donation here. This is from Lady Ariana, who says, I received this email from Chaos that appears to be addressed to our runners. Dear Leggy and Nikki, my agent informs me that you are here to kill me. Please know that I will not stand freely for this. My attorney has advised me that I need to disclose my weakness to you anyway, so if you want higher odds of killing me, you need everyone in chat to donate $5 to strengthen your warriors of light. Remind me to find a new attorney. See you at the casino. Love, Chaos.
On.
So yeah.
To everyone watching, don't be afraid that this would not be close. We still have Chaos going. Chaos can still decide absolutely everything.
Heck, Ice Cave can give me a boost up if it goes badly for you.
Yeah, dying in Ice Cave is sure a thing. Frost Wolves have like Baby Blizzard, which is an AoE that doesn't do a ton of damage, but when you've got 6 of them spewing it at you, you can drop dead pretty quick. Dark Wizards, they have Fire 3, they have Firaga, which is fairly lethal to Black Mages, unfortunately. Even with their low spell multiplier, you can still get into a lot of trouble. So that can be very concerning. You'll see that now we are loading up, of course. Nikki already did the shop, and now Leggy is loading up on potions and on ethers and some Phoenix Downs, making sure that we've got all the supplies that we need to continue camping out along the road. Now, of course, Nikki is... The tough thing about Ice Cave is that Nikki is in the first loop of Ice Cave, basically, so what ends up happening is that there's a drop-through room here that we go into. Oh, here's Ice Storm. This hurts a lot. 100 damage, but, you know, as long as you get your spells off, you're fine. But you do need to heal up after this. But we're going to go in through the first loop. We drop through the hole here, and we go through the bottom half of Ice Cave, and then we climb back up into this room to get our floater stone, which is sitting right there. And then we have to loop back around a second time through the second half of the dungeon here, starting with this encounter, and we have to get through the rest of this dungeon as well. This encounter can also be dangerous because if these undead decide to go low, they do have stun touch, so they can paralyze the Warriors of Light. So if both of your casters get locked up, a very rare case given the attack rate, but I've probably just cursed Leggy. I'm sorry, Leggy. My
Gotta curse me.
because Nikki's already through the fight and you're still behind.
But I will get there again.
You will have to fight that again. The other thing is that you'll notice that Mind Flayers are here. They used to be sorcerers in the original version, and they only hit for 1 damage per hit, and they hit 3 times. And they are the enemy with the fabled Death Touch. So if they tag you, you have a chance of just falling over, just falling down. Ice Cave, it's an experience.
Also, we never talked about the river system.
Yeah, the river system was, fairly safe. We do get Thundaga beforehand as well, which is our level 6 spell from Crescent Lake, excuse me. And so the whole idea here is that this gives us another option, and also gives us the ability to blow up Ochus and red piranhas and white crocs, which are all worth piles of experience points.
Most notably, probably the White Crocs, because they also deal a lot of damage. And again, depending on if you got the intelligence boost by hitting the next 10 intelligence threshold, you either one-shot them or not, which is a huge deal.
Yep. In other versions, interestingly enough, White Crocs in particular don't normally... Oh god, 199 damage. Dan just dropping dead on the spot, but thankfully he was casting Thundaga, not Thundaga. But the real tough thing with them is that... that in other versions they normally only show up in the top half of the world. They don't show up down here, but now in this version they do show up down here. So,
Well, that was happening.
thankfully you would quick save.
Yep. Why you save, folks?
I would know nothing about that. But yeah, we generally want to have 2 Thundagas queued up for the Red Piranha White Croc fight just to be very safe, because they are very healthy as well. You'll notice that Dan also has the additional intelligence multiplier for Leggy, so that Dan is hitting harder with spells. So normally here's where we grind in a lot of the versions of Final Fantasy speedrunning. This is the Evil Eye. However, the Evil Eye is bound up to the Floater Stone now, and so you get to fight exactly one of them, as we discussed earlier. So you go up, you Thundara it drops dead, and it gives you the Leva Stone, the Floater Stone, which we're going to walk back out of here. So this is where the second loop comes in. You drop back through the hole, and you're back here. And this time, instead of jumping through the hole to get back down here, you just go up the stairs at the back and you leave. Because no one wants to be here any longer than they have to be.
Yeah. We would need to go all the way around again to fight the Evil Eye once more, which is just not worth it. Or do you even? I've never tried that.
I think it's bound to the item. I don't think you can fight it a second time. The reason I think that
That I think about it.
Yeah, the drop-through encounter is just an individual sprite, so the sprite can be reloaded, but since it's not bound to an item, it can come back.
Can I pop in here with the donation, please?
Yeah, go for it.
We have a $250 donation. This one, okay. This one's from BD Jeffy P, and it says, Dan is here to kill chaos. Good luck, runners.
Yeah, Ice Cave is a little repetitive, so we are gonna... Nikki's about to finish the loop. There's the stairs in the back, so Nikki's out of Ice Cave alive. Bit of a hitch, but nothing too bad there, so... as Ice Caves go, that looks pretty clean. But yeah, notably, you'll see that our runners are oftentimes... on some fights that they don't necessarily want to take, they are casting an AoE spell and fleeing, rather than casting... Nikki, in this case, is casting multiple AoE spells to destroy this fight, because it's a real good experience. But oftentimes you'll see if it's a fight that's not great experience, you'll see our runners queuing up a flee and a spellcast, with the intent that by casting flee or a spellcast, you can get out of the fight either way. If you run, you run, and if you kill the fight, you kill the fight. But you're trying to get value out of your spell charges as often as possible.
Yeah, often it's like you don't want to fight them, but you also like cannot afford to be stuck on them.
Yep.
So you need to have one person queued up to make sure that this fight will not drag out because, yeah, fleeing is RNG. And RNG can be pretty brutal sometimes.
Yeah, the goal is to finish the game as fast as possible, and sometimes you just need to let the dice roll and running away.
Yeah, casting spells means using ethers, and ethers are... They start to get less precious as the run goes on, as you start loading up on more resources, but they are still pretty precious, so...
How's your monk HP looking, Nikki?
Yeah, Nikki's in the...
I'm currently getting the airship, so... But
You know what? Fair.
it's better than the black mages, but not by much. But my black mages are also really amazing. So...
Yeah, my monk's sitting around 300 right now, which is just incredible for this stage of the run.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, Nikki's black mage, I think we're both in the 190s, so...
Wow.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Dan's at 224 now, though. Dan is leading the way.
Well, I was at 165, which is honestly not that bad.
Yeah, I think that was a guaranteed, that last level up was a guaranteed get. So yeah, Nikki's got the airship now, and the first stop here is the Dragon Caves, or the Cardia Isles, as they were known originally. And we're opening specific chests, one for money, because, hey, we need a lot of money still. We still need to buy some level 7 magic and some protect rings, which I think have a different name in this, so we loot this entire island here. They didn't kill your black mages with that Firaga, they did just wound them badly.
When they got the chance to move first, I was so sure I was dead.
No, they actually still protect rings.
But they used the gauntlet icon. So yeah, Nikki's going in here
Remember
because...
when we were robbing everyone rich?
Yeah. Yeah, we're robbing the dragons now. We only go in there because we need the elixir. The elixir is also another full heal, so we're going to grab that. Since we need even more money, the next stop is going to be the Waterfall Cave. So this is the upper half fetch quest, again, where, you know, the denizens of towns give you hints of things, and apparently they say that a star fell in the waterfall up here. They weren't sure what it was, but you should go investigate it, so Nikki's going to go investigate it. So we take the canoe on up into this Waterfall Cave, and we are going to loot the place once we get to the back. Leggy is in the process of navigating the lower river system out of Ice Cave at this point, using a couple quick saves just in case of Dan getting, say, run over by... That save could not have been timed any better. But yeah, so now Nikki's working her way to the back of Waterfall. I'm going to take an ambush from 8 Pyralisk, which is not what you want because that's very slow. They don't hit.
Scary.
They don't hit very hard, but Gaze can kill your party members, which is bad. But again, it's mostly a slow encounter most of the time, but if they do start firing gazes off at your black mages, then you could have some severe problems with having to reset. So that ended up turning out okay, but could have been a lot worse.
Yeah. 18 turns, you never know what RNG decides to do with you in that amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of things can go wrong.
Yep. the fixed encounter tile is a king mummy, 2 regular mummies, 3 pyralisks, and 3 cockatrices. Again, cockatrices could stone your black mages. Pyralisks can kill them. Mummies can sleep them with sleep touch, so all the annoying fun stuff there. Also, more importantly, we do get back here, we get a bunch of things we're going to sell, and we get a ribbon, which we're definitely not going to sell. Ribbons have exactly 1 armor. They are one of the weakest helmets in the game physically. However, they do give you resistance to all magics. So instant kill effects all of a sudden stop being so instant and killy. Spells do half damage. And they generally will keep the party alive. There are 3 of them in the run. We are going to get all 3 of them. 1 is here, 1's in Sea Shrine, and 1 is in 1's in Sky Tower. Again, we need all 3 of them. 1 will be for Erdrick. 2 will be for our 2 black mages. Bread is going to remain a stone at this point, unfortunately. So if anybody's rooting for Bread to be helpful in this party, Bread is helping the most by blocking 50% of attacks.
Bread is innately immune to status effects.
We do love Bread.
Bread is very good.
Very good, very powerful.
So yeah, Leggy will be flying over to Waterfall Cave while Nikki is traversing out of it. Hey, Vonnie.
Hey, Dan.
How's it going over there?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Oh, we're doing fantastically right now.
Good.
You know, every time that Leggy has experienced a setback, she's making up time, getting back in it. It's been real good to see, but how's life over at the station over there? How's hosting going?
Life is fantastic because I have a donation to read.
Oh,
and
right.
I always love doing that. And I would love to do as many of those as possible.
We'll fire it up.
Will do. We got a $5 donation from Silverfire who says, Agama facts. It is well known that Agamas enjoy wading in lava, but what is less known is that they need to eat black mages to get their heat resistance.
Oh no.
It's fine. There are no Agamas in this run. We're never going to see one.
Oh, I see them all the time in Cash Run.
We're never going to see one. Agama free.
No. Do you know my favorite Agama fact?
No, I don't. What is your favorite Agama fact?
There is no Agama in this game. There are only fire lizards.
Oh, true.
Next thing you're going to tell me is there's no lobsters in this game.
No, I could never do that to you. But I can tell you another fun fact. Do you know what happens if you buy that bottled fairy with turbo on?
What happens if you buy that bottled fairy with turbo on?
Well, you might suddenly have 3 bottled fairies and also 120,000 less money.
Oh no. Like the drill tweet.
That sounds bad.
That's exceedingly bad.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. We're the warriors of light, not the warriors of fiscal responsibility. A little tough out there.
I'd also like to point out that chat is filling up with Smugamas.
Oh yeah.
So we need a big pile of money because we need 60k to buy Blizzaga here, our level 7 magic for our black mages, and then the rest of our money and the stuff we're going to sell from the stuff that we sell that we got because we've received a wizard staff and a defender sword, which we're not going to use either of those, so that we have enough money lying around to buy 3 protect rings.
Why do I have so much money?
Why do you have so much money? I've never seen anybody having like 50k after buying pro rings.
I should...
Are you buying the safety? Did you buy the safety ruby armlet? Oh, jeez. Life is real good.
I did that for a long time, but I didn't have the money to do so recently anymore. So I'm not sure what's going on, but...
Yeah, so protect ring.
Why not?
Why not? Protect rings give you 8 armor and protection from specifically death elemental. Note that some death spells are not death elemental; they're either poison or time elemental. But more importantly, they do have 8 armor, which is actually pretty good for the black mages at this point. The ruby armlet's the second best armor in the game for mages. We end up getting the one diamond armlet later on in Sea Shrine because we have to come here to get the Oxyel so that we can breathe underwater. But the big thing is that that you can get a safety ruby armlet if you have a ton of money, because it costs 40k. But what that does for you is that allows you to, because you're gonna put the diamond armlet on the black mage or on the monk when all is said and done. But you know, having a ruby armlet for the black mage is really helpful for this stretch of the game. And then you're gonna use the diamond armlet on the black mage until you unpetrify your monk. So that's extra safety that we get to have here that will protect us from things like lobsters and the multi-hitters of Sea Shrine that want to ruin our day.
Can I hop in here with a very cute donation?
Yeah, go ahead.
Always.
This is from my friend Margaret Ann. Margaret donates $25 and says, "Go Leggy, go Nikki, go Dem. I believe in all of you, friendos. Agama fact. I, Margie, am not, in fact, an Agama. I am Margaret Ann. Similar, but definitely different."
I don't think there are any Agnes in the RPG Valkyries. I'm pretty sure about that one.
But I'm not sure if we actually ever fact-checked that.
I could be an Agma. Hi, everybody.
Oh, and I noticed you can't park on the desert oasis anymore.
Nope.
Ah.
Nope, that is an NES only thing. Every other version you end up having to park either like Nikki did, walked across, or you pick up your airship and then fly over and land at the one patch just to the west. So Sea Shrine, we bought Blizzaga for a very specific reason. There's a big mix of enemies in the Sea Shrine, and that big mix includes ghosts, which are undead and weak to fire. It includes your regular sea monsters like white sharks and lobsters. They're not sea scorpions. They are lobsters. So annoyed. Right, like packs like this, which are weak to Thundaga because they're water monsters, and then water elementals, which are weak to, well, being frozen. They're weak to ice. You'd think they'd be weak to electricity, but it just passes right through them. So the idea is that what you end up doing here a lot is that you're going to hope that you get a mix of encounters that let you switch up your spells a little bit, but not too much. Like ordering kind of matters because you want to use your ethers efficiently, but changing what spell you're casting costs you time because it's inefficient for what's it called, for actual menuing time. So we don't want to menu as much. So there's kind of a balance there. You'll notice that Leggy was a little bit less full of money at this point, so ended up having to eschew the safety bracelet here, but is going to buy an infinite number of ethers, basically. Just, we have all the camping supplies we could ever want, 99 high potions, 99 ethers, handful more of Phoenix Downs, and we're going to go and get our Oxyel, and we're on our way. Nikki is done with the first half of Sea Shrine. You go down to talk to the mermaids first, and they give you the Rosetta Stone. The Rosetta Stone's important because we need to go learn some language in this run as well. The Rosetta Stone has all of the language information for Ancient Elven, which there's one town that we go to called Lefine. And if you have not learned Ancient Elven, you can't talk to anybody there, and it would be really embarrassing. And we're going to make sure that doesn't happen to the runners by harping on it a little bit today. Leggy told me to.
Yeah, after I did that during Hotfix.
Can I tell Leggy then to explain to chat, please, to everyone, please, why we are backtracking and not using the great teleport spell that the game has to offer, it sounds fast, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, but unfortunately, one of the things about this game is that there is a class promotion system that involves doing this whole side quest that we just don't have time for. And unfortunately, both teleport and exit, teleport, which lets you go back up a floor, and exit, which exits you from the dungeon, are both locked behind promotion to Black Wizards and White Wizards, respectively.
Yeah, every version, I think, NES, I think, still promotes, but I think every other version has finally gotten rid of that piece of DLC. They don't even promote in PSP anymore for the world record route, which is really interesting to me.
Yeah, they figured out
So the main part.
Go ahead.
The main part about that was actually that the PSP version also had a very strong item in castle ordeals. It was less about the job promotion, actually.
Yeah, it just happened to get promotion as a side effect of the trip.
It's like we're here, might as well learn warp.
Yeah, and Healaga, which actually made the healing on the Chaos fight completely trivial. But you can do it without it.
You know, when you mentioned that the Rosetta Stone is needed here, we have folks in chat wondering if Ancient Elven is also offered on Duolingo.
Didn't they throw a few Lord of the Rings languages on there for a little bit? It might be.
Wait, are you serious?
Yeah, they
Oh my
had
goodness.
they had Sindarin on there for a little bit.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so there you go.
One day they're gonna have that owl yelling at me in Klingon in my dreams. But yeah, Sea Shrine's a little long. Vonnie, do you have anything else going on over there right now?
I do have a quick donation to read here. It's a $20 donation from Bradley Saber that says, shout outs to all the friends we've made along the way. And what I would actually like to talk about right now is, oh, I'm sorry. Breaking news, we have another donation here. It's a $5 donation from Thalfun that says, Agama fact. If you measure an Agama from the tip of its nose to the end of its tail, it will turn purple.
Interesting fact.
Yes. What I really wanted to talk about here, I mean, as much as I love talking about donations, I have exhausted all I have here, so let's talk about prizes. Prizes that we are offering here in this block include a set of OST CDs for Atelier Ryza. We have some Sonic posters that you can get as well. $10 and $5 minimum donations respectively for those. And then we got a whole bunch of prizes here relating to Final Fantasy VII. We have a Beckett-graded full art Amano Aerith Final Fantasy TCG card. We also have, that $35 minimum donation for that. We also have Final Fantasy VII Anniversary Art Museum full non-foil set. $5 minimum donation from that. Those were both generously donated to us by our very own Ghoul02. And then we also have a Final Fantasy VII compilation vinyl, as well as the Final Fantasy VII Remake OST Plus. Those are both $10 minimum donations to get eligible for those, and those were contributed to us, by also our very own Ashen Prime.
Nice. Well, thank you all for your generosity with donating those prizes. Nikki is getting close to the next, maybe less of a wall than a lot of fights. One of the more interesting 50-50s of the game. It's going to be Kraken. Kraken's list of abilities is abysmal. Ink blinds our party, which we care very little about. And Thundara at this point on these black mages, stings, but not really. The big thing is, though, is that Kraken does not skip leg day, and Kraken's got 8 of them. Kraken can and will go and punch your black mages directly in their face many, many times, rendering them dead without question, without fail. So we're really hoping that Kraken goes high and punches some rocks, tries to, get stronger that way, or just spews ink on the party. Let's see, this is ideal, because that doesn't do anything. We do need to get off, I believe it's 6 Thundagas here to kill Kraken, maybe 5 at this intelligence. I'm afraid if it's 1,500 or 1,600.
I believe it's 18.
It's 1,800. Okay. So yeah, so there's 4. There's ink again. So yeah, Kraken's just gonna drop dead. Kraken's just gonna roll over and just let us go. Free pass out of Sea Shrine. So no problem for Nikki there. Easy peasy. Free as a bird. Speaking of the rarer encounters on these floors, do include birds for Leggy here, but Firaga's gonna do the deed here as she continues to progress through the second half of Sea Shrine here. The other thing is notable is that we didn't talk about was the items that you get down here. So there's 2 items you get down here. You get your second ribbon down here. Important, like I said, we're going to get 3 of them. Number 2 is here, but also we get the Giant's Gloves. And the Giant's Gloves are an item that we can hold high above our head, and it casts the Saber spell, which increases the attack power of the user by a great deal. We need this because we need to buff a ton in the last couple of fights of the game. We start using actually on Tiamat 1 to speed things up, but we basically need to buff our monk to the high heavens to get through some of these last fights. And the Giant's Gloves speed that process immensely because your monk, instead of just standing around and punching for like nearly no damage, can instead experience all of the power of lifting on the spot without any other work other than holding a pair of gloves high above his head. So Nikki is in the cutscene where we learn the entirety of ancient Lefinian or ancient Elven in a matter of seconds. This is the fastest language course in the world. Thanks, Dr. Una. She also bought the last safety that you can buy here, which is a single silver armlet to make sure that the second Black Mage also has armor into the late game, which can be very handy just in case. And so, having learned Ancient Elven, we do need to go and fly on up to Lufine. We're going to fly down to fly up, of course, but we're going to make one last stop here in Elfland. We didn't look at the level 4 spell shop while we were in here. We went into that level 3 spell shop, which is there to buy Thundara a couple of times. But we are going to buy the most important spell in the speedrun in a moment. We are going to buy Haste. And all that Haste does is it doubles the number of hits that a fighter or a physically attacking character gets. The big thing with the Black Belt is the Black Belt gets, as it levels up, Erdrick is getting hits in a rate of 2. Started at 2, right? First level breakpoint reached 4, and so on. But we are going to use Haste to turn what was 8 into 16. We're going to make numbers go way up, which is really, really important. There are a pair of routing considerations here. Nikki is going to do Volcano before Sky. So is going to head down into the Volcano here after stopping at Elfland to buy Haste. So it goes Dr. Una to learn Lefinian, goes down to buy Haste, and then now she's in the Volcano. We're going to fight the Fiend of Fire. In vanilla playthroughs, if we're talking to all the NPCs and kind of doing the quote-unquote intended route, normally you do the Volcano before you get the Floater Stone and the Airship. In the speedrun, of course, we decide to get the Airship first because, Airship is faster, and having more power for Volcano means we can just come in here and quite literally devastate carry without a thought. Leggy, on the other hand, of course, as you can see, Kraken decided to drop one of the Black Mages pretty early into the fight. So we do have extra Thundaga. We are going to drop Ethers here because Thundaga is the best spell we've got. This will be the 5th, or is it the 6th? I think you got one cast off with Dan before he died. Yeah.
And there's an argument to revive Dan instead, but you can also just sip an Ether if you've already got the appropriate number.
Yeah, the nice part about Kraken 1 is that Kraken 1 does not have AoE spells.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Thunder Magic.
Like any other boss in the game.
Right, if you have Thunder Magic's only on Kraken 2 later on. But yeah, keep pulling out those backup strats because you've needed all of them basically so far.
Yeah, no, we are really showing the duality of FF1 Pixel Remaster.
Yeah, Nikki has just been clean fights and no wipes, and Leggy has been wipes and worst possible outcomes and backup strats galore.
But again, the fun part about this game is I'm still technically in it. Just technically.
I mean, look, chaos can technically just murder people. But yeah, so Nikki is here in the Volcano. Here's Marilith. She is the Fiend of Fire. Nikki has chosen to not depetrify, so is going to use Blizzaga as the kill effect here. Carry is thankfully not as healthy as Kraken was, so you can get away with using these 240 damage Blizzagas to get through this fight in a pretty efficient manner.
I believe it's about 1450.
Yeah, 250 a cast. You do 1500 after 3 rounds.
Yeah,
so.
somewhere around there.
So very straightforward fight there, though. So Nikki is through Marilith and is going to light the third crystal here. Leggy has bought silver armlets and learned Lufenian, so is now going to trip on down here to Elfland. Gonna stop, gonna buy haste, and
Also, Nikki, weren't you the one who, originally came up with the idea of using Blizzaga on Marilith?
I think that idea might have happened when I was talking to you while you were running in your chat or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, it just feels more fluent and more consistent than reviving the monk and buffing the monk, because, I mean, the monk could get sniped by physical attacks. If you want to go optimally, the problem is, like, taking a detour in Ice Cave to get the money for the second Blizzaga, but that was just one of the marathon safeties that I went for, and just feeling smoother, also grinding through the next dungeon that's coming up soon.
Yeah, whereas I elected not to go for that money, partially because I knew I was already behind.
yep. And to just talk technical matters here, when you're in Volcano in particular, you'll see that there are these tiles that make your sprite flash. They deal 1 damage to your party. It can never be lethal. It will reduce you to 1 and leave you at 1. But what ends up happening is that you cannot get encounters on those tiles, and so the idea being that the more of those that you walk on, the fewer encounters you get in Volcano. The idea being that, the Pixel Remaster encounter rate, you do get usually 3 to 4 encounters in Volcano, as opposed to something like GBA, where there is a theoretical chance that you can go through this dungeon getting no more than 1 encounter. I don't think 0 is possible. I don't know if I've ever seen a true perfect Volcano with 0 random encounters, but I've seen 1 in other versions.
If you watch Dragon Dark's manipulated runs, then probably. I wouldn't be surprised for that one. But yeah, in the Pixel Remaster version, like, the amount of steps that count for your next encounter also count in the lava, so even if you don't get encounters on those tiles, you will get them immediately once you are back to normal tiles.
Yep, so Nikki, of course, went down to Lufine, talked to the one elf down in the lower right corner, and you obtained the chime because the Mirage Tower here has a musical key to allow you in. Mirage Tower, of course, in the vanilla game has a ton of exceedingly powerful loot that you can get. There's 10 chests on the second floor. There's all sorts of fun swords. The sun swords here, the vorpal swords here, the white shirts here, the black shirts here. The only thing we're going to grab is a ribbon. We don't care about any of the powerful armor here, the nice weapons, the adamant to go make an Excalibur. We don't need any of that stuff. We're going to leave it all behind. But yeah, so Leggy goes for the Depetrify here on Erdrick. So now Erdrick, as you can see, is free to start buffing using Giant's Gloves. This is the Saber spell. We've cast Haste and Temper, and now we are going to watch a man do some damage in a moment here.
I'm gonna mistarget the temper because
Oh, the good old turn to haste to temper.
Yep. So it's a different 3-turn fight, but it's a 4-turn fight in this case. So it's a slightly different fight going for buffs there, as you can see, but it does get us through. So Leggy has killed off Carrie here. Nikki is reached the cube room. This is where you need the cube to teleport up to the top of Sky Tower. But you do have to fight this blue dragon first. Blue dragon is weak to Blizzaga. It's gonna have a bad day here, it looks like.
Now that we're through that boss fight, can I come in here with some donations?
Yep, go for it.
Awesome. We've got quite a few. We got a $50 donation from Game Boy F9, which says, I sometimes feel bad about Chaos going down so many times, and then you think about it and you realize that Chaos deserves it. So I'm looking forward to Chaos going down twice. Glad to see 3 awesome RPG Valkyries on this run. Best of luck to Leggy and Nikki on this run, and best of luck to everyone on the rest of the marathon. We have a $5 donation from Scratch Dragon that says, Hi Dem, hi Leggy, fight bosses you coward. Oh wait, sorry, wrong game.
Thanks, friend.
Block low and don't drop combos. Ah, wait, let me try again. Kill Chaos. Nailed it. All right, now we're into the Agama Facts section of the donation comments here. We have $10 from Lady Ariana, who says, I have some math, Agama facts. I'll get it right, I swear. I find myself trying to read this in my best gyre voice because they're Agama facts. Here we go. 1, Agamas are not lobsters. 2, Margie saying she's not an Agama is the most Agama thing to say. 3, Agamas has 3 A's in its name. 4, Agamas are possibly a form of burrito. Shoutouts to Leggy, Nikki, Demerine, and the rest of my fellow Valkyries. I'm honored and humbled to be a part of this wonderful group, and I love all of you. You're all amazing.
Hey, Bonnie, may I cut in for just a moment?
Yes,
here?
you can.
So, yeah, just so you know that we are about to reach the 5th floor of the Sky Tower. It is a very short bridge walk. Very importantly, there is a very rare encounter that shows up 1 in every 64 times. There is Warmech. Warmech could be here, everybody. If Warmech shows up, I am going to donate $100. Like, I will grab my phone right here on the stream, on the spot, and I will kick it in. Very rare, but very exciting when it does happen.
All right, so you know what that means. Folks here in the crowd, we need to start chanting, Warmech, 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 Warmech.
Can't believe that worked. Holy heck.
You are welcome, Nikki.
I'm sorry, I knew that my delay was off, but I couldn't hold back. I have been running this game for so long, and I know how often I have seen Warmech in any percent runs. This is the first time, and I also know how much chance I have to beat this thing, which is none at all.
Yeah, you also haven't depetrified your black belt, and that you'd at least have a chance.
Even then, so this is the second time ever I have seen Warmech in the Pixel Remaster version. The other time was when I was doing a flat percent run. So I grinded to level 50 till I finally saw it. And Warmech can still kill you then.
Sure
If
can.
it just keeps casting nuke for 3 turns. When you are you don't stand a chance. And I mean, physical attacks are also very powerful, so...
Stella, take over commentary for a sec. I need to send money to Nami. Hang on.
So Nikki, what are you working on? Where are you at? You make it to Tiamat yet?
Yep, I'm now standing in front of Tiamat, the second worst fight in the run.
Yeah, so Tiamat 1 is actually really nasty, especially compared to Tiamat 2. Tiamat, being the Queen of the Dragons, has all of the different elemental dragon breaths that all of the other random dragons you see floating around this game have, and she likes to just spam them at you, and it's really rough. It does, even with a ribbon, nearly 150 damage a pop. The reason that Tiamat 2 is less scary is because she also gets various high-level AoE magic spells, like the ones that we cast, but actually those are overall weaker.
I see that Nikki has to deal with the fact that Tiamat decided to chomp down on the Black Mage that was casting Haste, so we're going to have to try to recast Haste here. It does go after the Rock on this turn, which is a lot better, and so we're going to get our buffs going. 2 uses of Giant's Gloves, cast a Haste, and so we're going to go for the third buff here just to be safe, and next turn is going to be the time for punching. There's Thunderbolt. As you can see, there's one of those big AoE effects that does decent damage. 150 is nothing to cough at here, so going to switch over to throwing a high potion here to just patch up the black belt a little bit. That monk does need to survive this fight. 2,000 a swing is going to get us out of here really fast, thankfully. And if it weren't for that high potion, Nikki would have actually died in this fight. So there we go. Leggy is at the third ribbon chest on the second floor here as well.
Here that very, very quickly goes wrong. So what you are looking for is that one turn in which she does a physical attack on the warrior, which we fortunately got.
It's all it takes to get through that fight okay, but if Tiamat decides to just start spamming poison gas, well, that's why you quick save, because you're gonna need it.
Yeah.
Thanks for jinxing me, love.
I mean,
It doesn't even need to be like... Tiamat 1 has like, I don't know, 5 spells, which all do the same.
They all just do nasty amounts of AoE damage. Yeah. Thunderbolt, poison gas. Like, Ice Storm is the best of them, and it does 100 damage. Like...
Okay, so get some donations here.
Yep.
Go for it.
All right. Again, back with the Agama Facts. $5 from Zoe V, who says, Agama Fact. If given enough time and free space, Agamas can achieve speeds. We have a $25 donation from BD Jeffy P that says, Agama Fact. When rubbing your pet Agama, make sure to only rub in a clockwise direction or your Agama will explode. Or was it counterclockwise? Oh no! And I want to time this next donation here perfectly. Come on, go ahead and get out of this battle here. Come on, come on. We have $100 from Demerine, and the comment just says, War mech, war mech, war mech, war mech.
Aww.
I'm getting all the luck this run.
I tried. Sorry, everybody.
All the luck.
So yeah, so Nikki has come back to the Chaos Shrine. So the final spoiler for a 35-year-old game is that the bats are actually the old Sky Warriors that were from ancient Lafine, who got transformed into bats by Chaos because they failed to defeat Chaos, because they were unable to defeat Chaos because Chaos. So now we have to go back in time 2,000 years to go back and find Chaos and beat the ever-living heck out of him. So we are now in the longest dungeon in the game, many, many floors, 4 mini-bosses that we're going to have to fight on the way down. But, you know, ultimately, again, we do want to beat the snot out of Chaos here. So first round of buffs is good and up. We have to stop auto battle for a moment here. We're gonna high potion. There's poison gas. That might actually, nope. Dan survives. Let's go, Dan. Dan is dead, everybody. We got a bigger cheer for Dan dying. But more importantly, Tiamat is dead. There, thank you, crowd. Y'all are wonderful. Nikki's at the first mini-boss here. A few floors down, you fight the Death Eye here. The Death Eye is weak to fire. It's undead, so you, generally speaking, can blow it up pretty quickly. And your reward for this fight, by the way, is 1 gold piece and 1 experience point. So enjoy that.
I'm going to pop in here with a couple more donations.
Yep.
We got an anonymous donor who brings in $100, says, I'm also donating $100 for War Mech. Holy cow. And then we have another $100 donation. This is again from BD Jeffy P, who says, bonus War Mech fact. Beep.
All right, so we're getting into the home stretch now. So Nikki has defeated Phantom or Death Eye in this version and doubles back and use the loot that you got all the way at the start of the game to play music at a talk to a bat. Heck yeah.
Traditions die hard.
Yeah, tradition. You gotta do it. But uses the loot that we got all the way from Princess Era all the way at the start of the run to make a plate get out of our way so that we can go down to the lower half of Chaos Shrine here. In Chaos Shrine, there are 4 elementally themed floors down here. We have to go through one more regular floor first. But then there is the earth floor, where you fight a whole bunch of earth-themed enemies. We then go into the fire floor, where we fight a bunch of fire-themed enemies. We go to the water floor, and then the air floor. And at the end of each of those floors, there is an orb inside of which is sitting a enhanced version of the fiend that we fought earlier in the game. There are some interesting abilities on some of these fights. Lich can actually be a real nuisance because Lich 2 knows Flare, which can KO your black mages on the spot a lot of the time. And Tiamat 2 is also exceedingly bad, but maybe a little less exceedingly bad. The toughest thing is Tiamat 2 has 5,000 hit points that you need to work through. Very, very healthy fight overall. So the middle two, less dangerous unless Kraken decides to tag your black belt, decides to destroy Erdrick in one swing, and then, well, guess that's why we have quick saves again.
Yeah, Marilith could do exactly the same.
I didn't realize that this was a pack in this game, Nikki. The 3 stone golems, 4 clay golems. I've never seen this before.
So this is Pixel Remaster exclusive. We can have big enemy. We can also, like, in older versions, we had like big enemies take multiple spaces. That's not a thing anymore.
You know, speaking of seeing things for the first time, we had a comment in here from our very own Puexel, and I think he would know. He said that outside of when we forced it, this is the very first war mech sighting in RPG Limit Break history. So speaking of which, we have an $80 donation from Mutated Scott who says, War mech fact, war mech only shows up when you least expect it.
All right, so now, yeah, Nikki is currently working through the earth floor, so we're going to top up completely here. We're going to make sure that we have a full complement of resources here. All of these fiend fights are going to involve the act of buffing up Erdrick to the heights of extreme strength and physical prowess here by using temper, haste, giant's gloves. Lich attacking the fighter is precisely what you want. Anytime Bread gets attacked, every speedrunner of this game is going to be a little bit happier because that is basically a completely wasted turn. Stop also useless because our ribbons will protect us from the status effect, which would normally paralyze us. So Lich handing out free turns like candy right now, which is fantastic. We didn't even have to steal it, Vonnie. We actually got it. Lich gave it to us willingly.
What a guy.
What a guy. But yeah, so no more needs for buffs here. Lich hits the Black Mage for a total of 9 damage. Good job, Lich. Way to go. No flares, no problems. So that is the first of the 4 repeat fiends down for Nikki, and she will be progressing on to the fire floor. This is the place where you do run into what we know as Agamas. They're, fire lizards in this version, but you can't stop us from calling them Agamas, just like lobsters are still lobsters. The old names are the best, sorry to say. But here we are. Fire Elementals, weak against Blizzaga. We're going to cast a lot of Blizzagas on this floor if we have the opportunity. Yep, there we are. Not Agamas, unfortunately. They're called Fire Lizards now, but they're Agamas in our hearts.
I've got an Agama fact for you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Did you know that fire lizards are just Agamas in Agama costumes?
So yeah, so this is just big piles of experience. Leggy has reached the earth floor now, so is into the earth floor here. Nikki is rolling up on Marilith here. Marilith knows like Fire 3, which is not super dangerous. You'll notice that now the monk is now in the back row. The whole idea being that now Wawa is the speed bump that may end up taking, there's the higher chance of taking the attack, which is important. While Erdrick hides in the back. Oh wow, and Dan gets dumpstered. Oof. Oh, right in the face. And as you can see, Marilith, if she actually melees your party members, takes absolutely no prisoners. And so Dan gets eliminated. The haste is out, though, finally. So now we're going to cast Tempers, and we're going to start... Ooh, wow. Wawa survives the swing for 290. Oof. But yeah, 2,000 damage a swing here. The other item that was used there was a speed drink, which actually increases the number of hits you get. The whole idea is that it increases it by 4, but then, of course, with the power of haste actually increases it by 8. There's carry 2 down. Marilith gets dropped. So Lich here is... Lich for Leggy is so far so good. See, Warp is great. Warp is an instant kill AoE effect, but we don't care about that because, again, Ribbons protect us from that. So the buff stage is over, and now it is time for our black belt to get busy, I guess, here. And there's Flare. But it's after all the buffs went out, so it's fine. Everything's fine. Nothing to worry about. Nothing. We're not panicking. I'm not panicking. There's an attack on the fighter.
Never panic.
Yeah.
Never panic. Never punish.
This might be an awkward time for me to say that we have a $5 donation from Silver Fire that just says, Flare, 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 Flare.
These are the people that love us the most, by the way.
Funny how that works, yeah?
Hi, Bonnie. How you doing over there?
Oh, I'm doing great.
So now Nikki's over here on the sea floor while Leggy is on the fire floor here. Fairly disinterested in fighting lava worms. They have a lot of health and don't give us a lot of anything. So moving forward from there. Getting a lot of good run luck, which is nice, which makes this floor go real fast. This is the shortest floor of the 4 by a decent margin usually. Other than maybe Skyfloor. Maybe Skyfloor is shorter, but... Yep, Nikki rolling up to the Kraken Orb right as Leggy is rolling up to the carry orb here. The big thing again, Kraken can and will one-shot party members with reckless abandon given the opportunity. We do need to get through a bunch of buffs here. Same thing so Leggy's in the same boat with Marilith here, needing to get off a pile of buffs. Death Magic, also fine. Casting Death is great. It's 364 on the black belt. Erdrick survives, but man, that stings a lot. So we may need to stop and patch him up a little bit. Or Nikki may go for unsafe strats, we'll see. Now Nikki's gonna go for the high potions here. Wawa gets eliminated. Dropped even. So we're on backup strats. Here's Thundara coming out, but that does nearly no damage at this point. Leggy is going to get a very clean-looking fight here on Marilith. Dropped like a rock. Here we go. Kraken can still go low here, but decides to ink, and instead of going low is now 1 turn from death, I believe. Decides to take out Dan on the way. Good night, Dan. After a bit of an early scare there, Erdrick does get through, so we're going to take some time to patch up the party here as we go down to Skyfloor. Tiamat's not as heavy a hitter, so the fortunate thing is that Tiamat may not, one-shot black mages at this point. Maybe Wawa at 312 could survive a hit. The AoE magic can still flow, but we have healing items for that. We have ways around it. The ribbons are helping a lot here. Right, there's Blizzara, so that's, Blizzara is one of the best things you can see just because it's one of the weaker spells that is in the Tiamat portfolio here. Right, there's another Blizzara, so pretty deep in the buff phase here now. I think we're 1 turn of buffs to go for this fight. Gonna go for a high potion safety here, speed drink, and then start attacking here. And there's another Blizzara. Tiamat being very friendly, it looks like. I'm gonna go for a temper here, just to, because if the temper goes off first, we might get lethal here. Yeah, did not get it off first, so we're not gonna get lethal out of that swing, but we're gonna get lethal out of the next swing for sure. Kraken here, so far so good for Leggy. So we're setting up our buffs here. Fighting the fighter is exactly what you want to see. Every time you see a miss there we go. Tiamat 2 is down. Leggy is going to get through the buff phase of Kraken pretty smoothly here, so things are looking pretty good. No backup strats required so far. Ink again is exactly what you want to see. A couple more tempers, and Erdrick is going to go to town because he is the hero we've exhumed for this fight. So let's talk a bit about Chaos. It is time. We've had references to the Chaos slot machine, the Chaos casino, the RNG heck that is Chaos. He's here. He has 20,000 hit points. He has a spell list that includes Curaja, which heals him for 9,999, and that's a spell we actually want to see. He has some of the highest power AoE abilities in the game in Cyclone and Flare. He also can unload with other big non-elemental AoE effects that do crush our party. Our fight is going to involve getting 3 Giant's Tonics up on Erdrick on turn 1, with hopes that he does something like cast Blizzara. What is going on here? The second turn is going to involve us throwing one of our X potions and or elixirs at Erdrick while we start the process of buffing. We are hoping against all hope that our black belt, that our party stays alive. Another Blizzara. The longer that our black mages survive, the more likely we are to get a ton of buffs off, which is going to speed this fight along immensely. So we've got 2 turns of buffs here so far. We've got our black belt at full health, which is great. Thundaga is going to eliminate Dan by 1 hit point, but so Dan is down. So that's going to slow down the buffing phase. We need to get a lot of buffs off here because we want to be hitting Chaos for at least 3,000. There's Cyclone. There's the big eliminator here, 250 damage. And so we have 2 full heals left, and we need to time them out in such a way that we can get the most value out of them that we can. And Chaos is being super friendly. This is unbelievable. Chaos just deciding that meleeing the fighter is the way to go. Bread is taking those hits like a champ, and by like a champ, I mean he can't die. So now we gotta kind of consider, are we going for a full heal here? Or are we continuing buffing? It's gonna be a continue buff and another melee on Bread. This is pretty ridiculous at this point. So out comes the X potion, so we're gonna top off all the way. Yep. See, Leggy's gonna reach Chaos in just a moment as well. Finishing up the sky floor efficiently here. Another saber, another fight on Bread. Bread is doing work. Here's haste, though. You see Nikki shaking her head. 1 melee attack could eliminate Erdrick from full health at this point. There's Flare, which is fine. We're 2 swings away at this point. We need another. Oh no! No!
Welcome to the casino.
The house always wins. Chaos goes and throws the big 4-hit elbow for 900 damage. Chaos can crit for upwards of 1,300 damage under the effect of haste, by the way. Don't ask Leggy how I know that. Leggy, how do I know that?
I mean, I feel like the answer to that question is obvious.
So yeah, here we go again. Simultaneous Chaos fights. Only 1 fight apart for how that run went, which was to state that it's been up and down for both our runners. But yeah, there we go. 3 Giant's Tonics to start, and we are setting up again.
Yeah. It is possible to just die here for 20 minutes. It has happened in marathon runs before, which is why we are racing, so that we have twice as many chances.
Yep.
And yeah, as perfect as that fight looked, it needed 2 turns basically for Chaos to kill us just 1 turn before the end.
All right, Walla's down, taking the hit there for the team. Nikki's in the second half of buffing here. Blaze is going to eliminate Dan, so we are now both sides are out of black mages. There's haste for Nikki. There's haste. Oh, come on. Simul hasting here, not what you want to see. Earthquake is what you want to see, by the way. Earthquake is another AoE death magic, and so we're okay with that. Repeat casts of haste don't do anything, by the way. So casting haste twice or 3 or 5 times is fine. Oh, alive! Alive! Both runners going to go for a full heal here. Nikki is not going to get it. Neither runner's going to get it. Wow. Oof.
So like we were talking about, this is going to be a race. This is the slot machine.
Chaos, I need you to chill out for like...
Small note. Why I just forced an encounter. So in theory, the RNG is supposed to be totally random. But for some reason, I've started to believe that, like, even though you always die in different ways, when you are on bad RNG, you will just get weird bad RNG all the time. So I hope that just doing something like forcing an encounter will change things.
Yep, Leggy gets the first turn.
Even if it is not a blatant RNG.
I just want to pop in real quick here to say, y'all watching at home, you need to donate for this extremely hype and exciting ending to this race.
Flare for Nikki on turn 1, though, so this attempt for Nikki is over. Capital O over, so just going to start defending until death.
Hey, Demi, I found different RNG. How did you like it?
RNG was without flaw. Perfect. 10 out of 10. Run that one back. But yeah, so
I gotcha.
We're hoping for, well, that's fine. Well, Dan, sorry, Dan. Rip to you, but you're not even different. You're just dead. So yeah, they're the black mages are just they are catching these hands today. But we're through the first half of the fight for Leggy here. Flare comes out, so we're probably in full heal mode here. Because 269 dies to Cyclone, I believe.
Well, dies to that.
not much is going to survive that. God, Chaos is just flexing right now. Look at those muscles. Look at those biceps, though. Ooh. Nikki, maybe don't run that one back.
I need new RNG, Demi. I think I need new RNG. I don't like this RNG.
Have you considered Final Fantasy II GBA?
Yeah, that one has less RNG. The final boss there is very nice.
All right. First turn melee on the fighter. Again, ideal. Bread getting attacked is the best thing that we can see today.
All right. Iraga.
You survived that. That's one of the best things you can see. It's one of the weakest AoEs that Chaos has. The second weakest behind, like, Lazara.
You know, I gotta say, I never understood why they gave all these endgame enemies Blizzara and not, like, Blizzaga. I'm grateful for it, don't get me wrong.
Turn 1 flare, Nikki? Oh, come on. Nikki, can you please... Can the RNG please maybe not turn one you here?
I would appreciate that, not gonna lie.
Oh no.
You have to go for a different backup strat. Slower removes your haste on the first use. The backup strat is throwing a Phoenix down at one of your black mages and then hoping you can get your black mage to recast haste. Which is frightening because, as you can see, Dan resurrected to 1 hit point.
We got time, we can keep trying.
Yeah, this is fine, actually. Like, the thing is that you've got all your buffs set up, otherwise it's just... Like, you just need to get the right turn order, and, it's a nuisance.
Remember my first fights that looked, like, almost perfect?
And now you're just getting turn 1 flared every turn.
I'm curious, though. How much am I swinging for?
Chaos is just not giving you the turn timing here. There's Kiraja, which we actually want to see at this point because it doesn't do anything when Chaos has not been damaged yet. Well, we're in the lots of swings phase here, but I think that's the end for Erdrick here. Unfortunately for Leggy, Blizzaga just not quite enough damage to get the kill for Chaos here, so we're back to buffing. Erdrick is alive and well here and getting set up here. So Nikki's in fine shape at the moment. Attack on the fighter is what we want to see. The buffs continue to flow. Nikki getting that good run through here, and is going to start hacking away. 32 hits for 53.95. 3 more swings. 2 more swings. Doing a full heal here. 4 more swings. 3 more swings. 2 more swings. Oof. 1 more swing. No more swings. Hey! Woo! And that is time for Kaguya Nikki at this point.
So my plan is just going
Trying to play.
to see if I can get it until they mercy kill me. Let me know. Let me know.
It's like you're trying to play it safe, and every time you do, you just see that haze, and you're like,
Saw that.
Nice.
I saw the melee come out. I saw just the flash, and I'm like, oh, this is bad.
While you're getting set up here, can I read some donations?
Yeah, go ahead.
Cool. We got $25 from Joe Brock that says, "Hi, Shinko." We have a $5 donation from Silverfire that says, "Agama facts. While enraged, Agamas do not feel pity or remorse or fear and cannot be stopped unless killed." We have $25 from Prof Ness who says, "Agama facts." Beep. And then Margaret Ann comes back with another $15 donation and says, "Agama fact. If you have an Agama in your heart, let them out. It's noisy in there and they're trying to take a nap."
So yeah, Leggy is in the process of, again, trying to get things, like the turn order is pretty random. So there we go. All right. So you're saying there's a chance. That's fine. That's good. That's good. We're happy about that, Kiraja.
It's literally free.
That's slower on the right target. That's free too. All right, about that time, isn't it? It's maybe 3 more swings. It's going to be tight. But the full heal's coming out. This is fine. This is good. This is good. This is good. There. Perfect. 2. 1.
Done.
0. Time.
GG.
Yeah, given how that run started, I am not upset with this time at all.
You did it. You both killed Chaos live on stream. How does
Yeah.
it feel?
I don't know. I never thought I'd get this far.
You say that the last time we two raced that at a marathon, I was the one who couldn't kill Chaos after 25 minutes of trying.
Oh yeah, no, like it is brutal. The fact that we both managed to finish after what, like 10 minutes total of attempts, you know, from when you started to when I finished, that's actually really, really good for a marathon setting. But also, you know, this is my first in-person marathon run, and it's just so exciting to be here. It's such a good event that means so much to me.
Hey, this is a live PB, right? This is the first time you've run this game live.
Yep.
Now, Leggy and I are partners, right? So we do have a tradition after any PB where I will come on to Leggy's stream and give her a kiss. Mask protocol. I'm not taking my mask off, everybody. That's not cool, right? COVID's a thing. So instead, you know, we got, you know, kisses. Here you go.
Thank you, love.
You're welcome. Nikki, how about you? You got any shout-outs over there? And
I mean, thanks for finally having me participate, at least remotely, after all these years of... My first RPG limit break was still called Crystals for Life. It's great to finally be part of it. I really hope that one day I will be able to visit you all in person. And yeah, thanks to Damien and Leggy being here with me. Another shout out to Ice Blue. I hope everything is going well on your end.
Absolutely.
And that we made you proud. I had a blast. And shout outs to the amazing organizations that we've been able to raise lots and lots of money for, thanks to all of your generous donations.
And shoutouts to just all of the RPG Limit Break volunteers and staff for, making the show as amazing as it is.